a restaurant and pubs, they just enrich an area so much. You can go and eat great food, drink great wine, somewhere that's fun and vibrant and, you're going to be looked after. I mean, they're just so important.
Hello, my friends, old and new. This is Dani Valent and you're listening to Dirty Linen. And aren't I lucky to have you with me for a discussion about food? Getting into all the juicy bits. I am, yes, totally in my happy place having these conversations. They are fun for me and I hope they are enjoyable for you to listen to. I kind of have a feeling this is going to be a good one. Sally Wright is a chef and the restaurateur at the Stanley Pub in Stanley in northeast Victoria, about 3.5 hours away from me in Melbourne. It is a gorgeous spot, a historic pub, the heart of the community, and a great place for visitors to find themselves as well. Sally is so multi-talented. Thinking about her food just gives me a warm glow, and it's a joy to welcome her back to Dirty Linen. Yes, we do love a return guest and finding out what's happened in the meantime. She was last on the show in January 2024. Feels a long time ago. So yeah, good to have you back, Sal.
Thanks. It's good to be back.
So you're, chefs move around a lot, but you're still in Stanley cooking up beautiful Asian food. Not a Palmer to be seen in this pub. How's it going there?
Well, I don't do much cooking anymore. I've got Shauna Stockwell. She's in the kitchen now. So Shauna actually moved to Stanley, I don't know, I want to say 15 years ago to work at Stanley Pub. That's why she moved here. And she worked when Anne-Marie and Shane had it. So every pub has its publicans and its eras. And I think they got a hat back then. I think it was a French restaurant. And so Shauna's come back. She's gone full circle. So she's back in the kitchen now and it's great. There's a crew in there. Christine's been here since the start. And we've just got Darren Murphy, who's just joined us was at Bendigo Whole Foods and he's moved to Beechworth. So it's great. We've got a really good little crew in the kitchen at the moment.
Love to hear it. So when you've got this fantastic crew that's on the pots and pans, Sal, what are you up to?
Well, I'm just keeping all the other things circling in the air, juggling all the other balls. I don't know. It's a funny one, isn't it? We were talking about this yesterday about how you just have to keep reinventing yourself. And it's funny, on Instagram I see, we do the same here. Like, I just saw that Supernormal's having 6 weeks of noodles and Chin Chin are doing a burger every week, that's the whole Lucas group. And so it's kind of interesting. It's to keep people engaged. We just keep on trying to bring up new things to do. So that's a bit of a full-time job. We're just trying to do new events and keep on reinventing the wheel on a week-to-week basis just to keep everyone interested. So that's the fun bit, but that's kind of what I do.
I mean, is it fun? Talk about the balance between the stresses of running a business and the fun parts. Is it about keeping the creative juices flowing or is it about scrambling for business in a tough economy?
Yeah, good question. Is it fun? It is fun because I kind of feel like, well, you know what we're like, Dani. Hospo tragics are hospo tragics, right? Like you kind of love it. I love business and I love, I kind of like the having to reinvent yourself all the time. I really do enjoy it. And then there's weeks where things are bad and you're like, that's the scramble. And that's the horrible bit, I suppose, when you can't just keep on, you can't get the new outdoor tables and you can't do all the things you want because you've got to wait till the bucks come in the door, you've got to pay your bills. And as we all know, they're all getting more and more expensive and everything's more expensive. And but no, I still think it's fun. I just think hospitality is going through a monumental shift, to be honest. It's just changing and, we're all trying to keep up with what's happening and moving with the times and doing these. I mean, it's a great time to go out and eat, right? Never before has there been such an amazing smorgasbord of offers in brilliant places and, there's little places like Frenchie's popping up and, so it is a great time to be out eating. And it's an interesting time to be in hospitality. Is it tough? Yes, it is tough, but I still enjoy it.
I'm glad you still enjoy it. And, just to loop people in, when you mentioned Frenchie's, that's a place in Melbourne that's opened and everything's $14. So I suppose when you say it's a great time to be a diner, there are a lot of restaurants competing for your business and giving you some really excellent deals. And, of course, the variety of cuisines and types of restaurants available to us in Australia, in the cities and the regions, is quite extraordinary. It's for me as a restaurant critic, the hardest thing that I do is choosing a place to eat because you want to represent the variety and the endeavour and the creativity of everyone who's, putting heart and soul into these small businesses. But Sal, I'm interested, you mentioned you think hospitality's in the midst of a massive change. What is changing? What was it like and what's it like now? Where do you think it's headed?
Well, I suppose I'll come from the point of view where I am because I'm in a pub in a country town. We're not your normal stock standard pub. We've copped a lot of flack from that and we've copped a lot of support. A lot of people just think there's a stock standard cookie cutter for a pub. You're meant to have, palmies and mixed grill and, serve cheap beer and look after the locals and that's your country pub. Well, country pubs can't survive like that anymore. We've got, I think I said this last time I chatted to you, there's a plethora of beautiful country pubs around here. So we've chosen to go down the Asian route and we have a cafe and it's great. But we get a lot of pushback from that, I suppose. We had a thing a few weeks ago where someone jumped online and, really took us to task about not being able to get, I don't know, steak and chips, I think. I mean, you can get steak here and we do sell chips, but it was really interesting to watch because we're not a normal pub. And I think that's what keeps us surviving, to be honest. That's what makes us different and that's what has enabled us to keep growing is the fact that we're not a stock standard pub. And that was really interesting because he did that online and he tagged us. And so, there was 300 or 400 comments. And it was really interesting because business boomed the week after that because people are like, great, we kind of found out what you weren't. So it really worked in our favour. And there was, he had a few people that are like, yeah, I don't know what all these yuppies are doing, changing these country pubs. But, to survive, you have to have a point of difference and you have to do something. We've chosen to go down the Asian route. And I think I said that's because I used to teach Asian cooking and that was my thing. So we've stuck with that. We've stayed in our lane and it's worked for us and it's been really great. But, we still do things. We do this great little thing on a Wednesday night. It's called Hump Night where we cook someone else's recipes, might be someone's grandma or their mum's and we cook it. And then we just do that and a glass of wine for $30. So that's us doing our little spin on, here's something, come in, there's a normal home-cooked meal, giving something back to the locals. But I also think it's a really big ask these days for locals to support a local pub because they'd all have to come and spend $500 a week. I mean, it's a big responsibility to support a local pub. They're so expensive to run. So, yeah, it's a funny time. I don't know. I think they're just changing and it's really fascinating to see all these little country pubs being snapped up and turned into different little restaurants and, everyone's trying to do their little thing. We've been trying to do some events. We've had a murder. We had Adam Shand up here the other week and we did a murder night talking about, not murder night, crime and wine. And, we've got Richard Cornish and Max Allen coming up and doing champagne and oysters. But I mean, it's great because we're all trying to find our place and carve out a new niche. And it's still, though, at the heart and soul of it is a community gathering place. So how you go about it, though, it's just changing.
Yeah, look, it's the dream in a way, like the country pub, whether it's in your town and you just know it's always there, the glow coming through the windows, or you're a traveller and it's this sort of beacon on the highway where you just want to be able to stop and, have some local meat into some beautiful pie or, the the chips with the spuds that have just been grown down the road, like all these kind of bucolic fantasies. And then, within those walls and in the back rooms of those pubs are people trying to create a business that's sustainable, with all of this, romance and story attached to it, sometimes as a kind of fire underneath you, keeping you going, but sometimes also as a dead weight, like dragging you down to who knows where. So there's a lot of competing priorities, and I guess, to use a modern term, a lot of stakeholders, some of whom really want steak and chips on their plates.
There is. And it's interesting because, I still think like that's the great thing, right, about discovery of little places. Like that's the great thing. I was, I'm jumping around a bit here, but that's how I talk. I'm all over the place. But, all these small businesses closing, it's like when you travel, right? I'm about to go traveling and I'm so excited. One of my friends said, I'm going to book this and that. And I said, can you not book me in anything? I just want to go and get lost, right? Because, whether you're driving around or just walking down a laneway, the discovery of the little places like this, little places that are run by someone that's, generally people are half crazy to set up their own businesses to start with. They're always going to be interesting characters, interesting food, local people there. It's that sense of discovery, and it's so fun. You just don't want them to disappear, I suppose is what I'm saying. And you don't want them all to be owned by big groups and, this is this cute little thing, but it's owned by this big group. You still want those crazy people in there doing the crazy stuff, telling the stories and letting people discover all the craziness that exists in the area. I mean, that's the fun bit, right?
Yeah, and you want those businesses to be nimble. Like you have an idea to cook someone's old recipe on a Wednesday night. You don't want to have to take it up the chain to management to get it all costed out and to see if it's if you've done the social media post 2 weeks in advance and got all those ducks in a row. I love that idea. Like, tell me about some of these Wednesday night dishes.
Oh, it's super cool. I really love it. We've had just so many different things, like. And there's always a story attached to it, right? So we did one that was fricadella. And that was, I used to work with this lady and she used to make fricadella and, she had her own story. She used to drink wine out of a coffee cup in the morning and, her husband was killed walking the dog. And I mean, I know, but I love this woman and this was her recipe. And every time I cook it, I think of her. Now that's a sad story. But last night we made, we just did beef cooked in stout and red wine, and that just belonged to one of the old ladies around here. She just brought in a recipe and just gave it to me. And this was my mum's, and off we do. We cooked it. We do meatloaf. We've done lots of meatloaf. We've done so many yummy things. I don't know. I need to go and get the thing. I kept going, we should write this in a book. This is great, these recipes, because I don't change them. It's really hard not to change them either, actually being a cook. I'm like, don't change it. I want to, but I don't.
That's a discipline in itself. What's fricadella?
Fricadella, there's, a lady was in here and she was South African and she said they were South African. I thought they were a Swedish meatball. She's saying they were South African. So they're pork with mustard and dill in a creamy mustard dill sauce. Yum. Yum. We almost serve mashed potato with everything. We kind of go, we can't serve mashed potato again. We did cauliflower cheese last night. We always have this thing in our head because we're about 7K out of Beechworth. We always go, would you drive up the hill for this? We all sit there and go, would you drive up the hill for this? Yep. I drove up the hill for cauliflower cheese. It's funny. It's fun. It's great. It's really nice. Rissoles, we did rissoles the week before last. They were great.
Yeah, I would drive up any hill for any of those dishes. They all sound great, and just those heart and soul stories are beautiful. What a lovely concept. You mentioned, the hospitality tragic. What is it? Like, what turned you into a hospitality tragic, Sally?
I don't know. I think hospitality tragics, like we're people pleasers, right? All you want to do is give people a good time. It's and I don't know what it is. Like, you know, I can walk into a room and read people really quickly. You know, I already know what's happening on that table over there, that table over there. I may even just be sitting dining, but I already know that they're having a fight. They are out of their depth in this restaurant, and you can read a restaurant. And I think it's just that thing. I mean, there's the biggest buzz you get is when you're walking through your own venue and it's pumping and everyone's having a great time and they're all eating and everything's running. The kitchen's running smooth. The wait staff are all happy and the barman's throwing cocktails. Honestly, it's like better than any drug. You just sit there going, woo, this is great. This is why you do it. So it's awesome. I mean, I love that organised mayhem. You know, I don't know what it is. I just think it's in your blood. And you can see it in the young kids that come through. We have lots of younger kids coming through and you can see the ones that you go, oh, bad luck. You've been struck with the Cosmo tragic brush. You're bound to be in this industry forever. You can see it a mile away.
Well, thank goodness for them. We love them, and we love if they're in the same room with you, and you can. They've got the passion, and you can train them in all the niceties. Sally, take us to an experience that you've had where you felt that magic in someone else's restaurant, one of these little places perhaps that you found on your travels, or it could be somewhere local. Like, take us into a room that you've absolutely loved.
Wow. Okay. So many. I mean, I just love going out, right? So, trying to think where I've been recently that has had a hum. I haven't been out so much lately, Dani. It's winter. It's one of those things. I look at, I know you've just been to Vietnam, so I'm going to talk about Vietnam because I love it. Did you love it?
Absolutely loved it. Yeah, just the freshness, the friendliness, the creativity, my auntie does it differently to your auntie. I just loved it.
And those big, like, halls they have and there's just food flying everywhere and everyone's drinking and the whole family's just running around and they're laughing and chatting and you look at it and you go, you've got it. I was watching a thing last night. My relaxation is watching markets set up on YouTube. I could watch it for hours. And last night it was in Vietnam and they were the boats on the river and they were the market, but they all live on the boats. And that was another thing. I watched it and I was just watching all the family. It's like when people are in their element, they look like they're dancing, Like if you go to, I'm trying to think. Okay, I was in Supernormal the other day. I love Supernormal, right? Because they all look like they're dancing around as well. Everyone's just doing that dance and everyone's being served and they're happy and that's all humming. And I like that because I always watch the kitchen. So I watch the chefs work and it's all just harmonious and all working. And that's what it was like on the riverboats last night. I was thinking it doesn't really matter what place you're in. If it's a boat, there's a boat on the water. They had nothing, but they had all plants growing in polystyrene boxes. People dining on this was immaculate. The family were all serving. The kids were serving. Everyone was happy. It was just buzzing. And I was thinking it's so simple to get that little rush of hospitality, of giving people a great time, So you can get it anywhere. I don't know, anywhere.
There's this tiny little Korean spot. I haven't eaten there, but I've walked past it a number of times. I'm always like, oh, I've got to go there. It's in Little Burke Street, up the hill. So you walk past Tipo 00, Osteria Ilaria, Sushi Show, like some really, like restaurants at the height of their game, just really delivering. And then there's this tiny little shop front. The door is propped open by a rice cooker, and the food is only handed out through that little gap in the doorway. And it's a tiny menu. It's just, I'm sure it's just lunch only. Maybe she does breakfast as well. But most people that are there seem to know what they're there for and they're getting it. And I don't know, like I was looking at that and thinking that woman there is working as hard as any great chef any lauded, applauded chef in any city, anywhere in the world, or, any market trader on any riverboat. And thinking about it just as hard, up just as early and to bed just as late, and putting everything into it. And you just think, yeah, like, as you say, it doesn't matter if it's humble or grand. When you've got it, you've got it. And you're still feeding people, right? Like there's absolute honour in that, no matter the circumstances.
Yeah. And it's just a bit addictive, right? It's just that rush you get, and then the beautiful come down after everyone's gone and you're sitting, you all have a drink, and I don't know, it's addictive.
You mentioned the kids that come in and you can see it in them. What about the other ones, the ones that don't quite get it? Like, do you feel like that's something that can be taught? Can you light that fire, or is it there or it's not?
I think it's there or it's not, to be honest, because a lot of the kids that don't have it, once again, it's a little bit of a thing like, we don't treat hospitality like a career in Australia. So we're up against that already. So a lot of kids are just like passing through, this isn't really my job, this is just a fill-in. And so you're up against that the whole time as well. And, if they're on their path to somewhere else and they haven't got it, you can stop them if they've got it and they're going somewhere else and then they just fall in love with it, because it's a feeling. It's a whole, it's a whole feeling. You can stop them from perhaps going somewhere and coming back. I've got to come back. But no, I don't know. No, not really. I've never taught anyone. They just go off on their merry way and do their stuff.
I'm sure there's borderline cases, Sal, where if they walk into somewhere where it doesn't feel good and people are being, it's shouty and it's stressed in all the wrong ways, that those people that are perhaps borderline would tip out. Whereas if they landed somewhere like the Stanley Pub, maybe they'd tip in.
Maybe. If you make it, yeah. I suppose it would depend where you landed, because there's not many places that shouty though anymore, are they? Everyone's so mellow now in the kitchens. Quiet kitchens are all the rage.
Well, I mean, tell me about that. Like, what do you think's changed in a hospitality culture sense over your tenure?
I think I like what's happened to hospitality. That's, no one really works ridiculous hours now. I like it. So they're not stressed out. It's not a chef working 90 hours and, like back in the old days where you just work and work and work. And it was a badge of honour to just keep working. I haven't had a break. I haven't had a holiday for 2 years. And, that was a badge of honour. Whereas nowadays, it's really people look after themselves. They look after their health. And consequently, kitchens are a totally different place to be. They're quite calm and, everyone's only working 38 hours a week, and it's a nice place to be, having holidays and, no, go and do Pilates before you come to work. It's great. It's a lovely place to be. It's more normal, I suppose, than, and that, I don't know, I can only speak from our place, but, there's not so much of that crazy mental health because people are looking after themselves, and so it's just a nice place to be. And everyone just looks out for each other. So, if you can tell someone's having a bad time, everyone kind of looks after them. Whereas in the olden days, it used to be like, you're weak. Now it's not so much. So I kind of like how the hospitality, world is shifting. And it's shifted a lot since I've been involved.
I think in some cases, I'm hearing from a lot of owners where the staff are doing their 38 hours and perhaps fitting in their Pilates classes, but it's the owners that are picking it up. Wages are such a huge cost these days, and that rightly so, people should be paid properly, but when margins are squeezed, it's often the owners that pick up the slack and the extra hours, and that can be a real challenge for a business when the owner is really in the business rather than working on the business and looking after themselves as well. I mean, is that something that you've noticed as well?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's always happened though. I mean, it's happened forever. You always have to, because I'm a chef as well, and I can very easily jump in either on the line, or at the moment I'm the cake chef because we don't have one. So yes, I'm doing that as well. And then I have to try and find time to sit down and do all the other bits of admin that are involved, plus grow the business. You know, I was thinking that this morning. I had to come in and cook cakes, and then I had to have a meeting about the website. So I've got to change the website, and there's someone wanting to have a wine tasting, and then there's the man from the fish shop trying to tell me about something that's happening there. And I was like, bloody hell, I just want to go and make a bloody cake. So, yes, you're right.
Got to do some bloody podcast.
You're right. That is what happens. And it's an interesting one too, like with all the costs and, you know, when people start complaining about prices and stuff, I mean, I've become quite, I suppose you get tough skin about it. And I think it's like, you can either pay it or not pay it. That's what we have to charge to survive. Like, you know, and I think people are still, some of them are under the belief that you're paying for what's on the plate. I could buy that. It's nothing to do with the food on the plate. It's all the other bits, you know, and if you want everyone to be treated fairly, that's fine. So that's what that costs. Pay it or don't pay it. But, and I think though that we're changing, there's less of that now as well. Like, as I said before, I think hospitality is having this, you know, huge adjustment. And I think that's a part of it. I think the customer is becoming adjusted to what it looks like now, you know, and what they have to pay. I mean, it's a really funny business, isn't it? Because if things go up in the building industry, you just pay it because you can't build. You can't do that. But cooking, everyone can cook. Everyone can go shopping. So there's a different level and there's a different expectation of what people think they should pay because they can cook. But it's still the same. You know, it's still a treat and you're still going out and, you know, someone's still serving you. And yeah, it's an interesting one. And I know we grapple with that all the time because the market will only bear so much, right? But I do think that's where it's changing and I think it's going in the right direction. I think people are becoming way more understanding. Like in the last year or so, there's been way less whinging about pricing and stuff. People have just become more accepting of this is where it is. Prices have gone up. But yeah, it's a hard one. Oh, man. Anyway, we choose to do. It's fun.
I'm glad there's less whinging. That's good. But maybe the whingers are just at home. Like, yeah. I don't know. Sally, why do you think it matters? Like, why are restaurants important in our world?
Oh, they're so important. That's another thing. Imagine a world without any restaurants. How horrible, how lonely, how soulless. I mean, a restaurant and pubs and, you know, they just enrich an area so much. Like, you know, an area is, you know yourself when you're trying to decide what you want to do on a weekend. You want to go somewhere where you can go and eat great food, drink great wine, somewhere that's fun and vibrant and, you know, you're going to be looked after. I mean, they're just so, so, so important. I mean, you know, what do you do when you've had a crappy week? You ring up a mate, come on, we're going out. We're going to go out and have some drinks. We're going to eat something lovely and, you know, chat about the world. That's what you do. Without them, I don't know what you do. Go and sit in the park? Where do you go? They're very important. I don't think people understand how important they are for mental health and well-being.
I mean, no shade on parks, but yeah, I'd rather sit and solve the world's problems in a restaurant for sure. Sally, what cakes are you making? Because I'll come up the hill for one. Tell me what's on the cake stand.
Do you know what? We sell so many baklava cheesecakes.
What?
Baklava cheesecake. I mean, they go off. Make pistachio in the phyllo and all the cheesecakey goodness and cook it and then you pour a syrup all over the top and they're good. So I make a lot of those and I just make cakes, whatever. I've just made a banana and tahini cake. That was an Ottolenghi one off the front of a cover of a thing many years ago and I've kept that for ages. So I quite love it. I just go through the old books and just find stuff that I want to. But once again, we have lots of beautiful pears and apples and stuff here. So I'm next to a grower, and he brought me over a few weeks ago all these amazing, those beautiful Bosch pears and those really old heirloom apples. And so I cooked them all up. And so I've been doing lots of crumble cakes, and I just made a hummingbird, but with pear. I don't know, all sorts of things. Yum. Who doesn't love? And it's so good when you find a place that makes their cakes rather than those, when they make them too perfect. We used to have a girl, and she's a beautiful girl. I said, stop making them look perfect. She was really good. Make them look like we made them ourselves. We don't want to go to all this effort. People think we got them out of a box. Come on. It's very funny.
Well, I love that. I mean, it really says it though, doesn't it? It really circles back to this idea of, it's food by a person or by people. There's an identity. It's specific. It's not cookie cutter. There's a reason for going there. When it's, it might look different to the way it looked yesterday. It changes with the seasons. These are all the things that we should be celebrating. Thanks for giving us an opportunity to do that, Sal. Are we allowed to know where your travels are taking you?
Yes, I'm off to Greece, and then I'm going to Italy. I'm doing a yoga retreat in Greece. And lots of eating. I mean, I'm laughing because my friend takes the yoga retreat. Everyone's like, what are you doing that for? It's your holiday. I mean, oh no. My friend takes them. I mean, it's still cocktails at 3 p.m. and, a bit of oming, and then off to Italy.
Well, it sounds very balanced. What are you looking forward to eating in Italy?
Everything. Pasta, lots of it, and gelati.
That also sounds very balanced. Sally, always so lovely to catch up. Thank you for sharing what's happening with the Stanley Pub. Love the sound of those events as well. Max Allen and Richard Cornish in the same room is always a fun time. Might see you up there for one of those.
Thanks, Dani. Lovely to see you. Toodle pip.
Thank you. See ya. This is Dirty Linen. I'm Dani Valent. We bring you untold stories from the food world. Real, raw, unafraid, hopeful. We're driven by a belief that food provides endless opportunities for learning, connecting, and creating the world we want to live in. Delicious, open-hearted, meaningful. If you know a story that needs telling, get in touch. Write to dirtylinen@deepintheweeds.com.au. Thank you for listening.
This is a Deep in the Weeds production.